Well, good afternoon there, you fine little gʷídəq. Welcome aboard. Hello there. There's been much that's been happening. So I'll let the other guy bring you up to speed, so to speak.
Well, thanks, Biff. I think. But he's right. There's been lots going on the boat. A little bit here, a little bit there. Nothing huge, but it all adds up. The other day I came in here and I started doing a little bit of fiberglassing work. One of the first things I did was plug the hole that the old transducer left. If you remember, I had knocked it out, drilled it out, but it left about a 1-inch hole in the hull. So I plugged it. If you may recall, the old transducer used to sit here. And the method I used for plugging it was to take a bit of coring foam and roll it in thickened epoxy and then stuff it down into the hole. I'll grind it off and put some mat and roving over top on the inside, and I'll basically do the same thing on the outside. But kind of gives you an idea what I did there. I'll come outside. Call it when I took the cap rails off. Underneath the cap rails here at the bow, there was a hole in the fiberglass, so I actually took some mat and some epoxy and filled it. And then while I was doing that, I thought, well, I should start filling that cap rail joint, or the hull deck joint, I mean. And that is the result. I started, took me, I don't know, half an hour or something to do that much. Stuff is really thick and has to be mixed well. It's like epoxy glue, and it takes a fair bit to do it, but that turned out really nice. I'm going to take a grinder to it to see how it stands up to a bit of sanding and turn here. I didn't use any filler, but I did put some epoxy in the hole here because it was the same situation. There's a big hole right there. And it looks nice and hard and filled. Hole repair right there. So use that little bit of green. That's the foam. So I'm going to grind this back a bit and probably about that far out, and then lay some cloth in over there to build it back up to where it was to begin with. Anyway, let's get busy. I think I'm going to start by filling that hull deck joint. The sun's out, it's fairly warm. The weather's supposed to be decent coming through the weekend, and it'd be nice to have the plastic off the bulwark up there and some solid material in there. So let's get busy. So this is the product that I'm using to fill the hull deck joint. Industrial coating. Doesn't actually say what it is, but it is the glue that they use to glue reflectors down on the highway. And I got the idea from another chap who rebuilt his Westsail 32 a few years ago. And I thought, yeah, cars going over top of reflectors, don't knock them off the road, and semi-trucks, 40 tons plus, don't knock them off. I reckon a little bit of bouncing around on the ocean isn't gonna budge it any. Well, there's what it looks like. It's black and gray. You mix it up equal in 2 parts. And so I've got this old cleaner bottle, and it works well enough as a little palette for my stuff. And I like the edges on it so that it doesn't spread all over the place. And see how thick this is? It's almost like Bondo. So how do I know that it's 2 equal parts? Well, I don't. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. 3 or 4 spatulas full. There's a wad in the bottom of my pan here. And I guesstimate how much that is, and do the same with the other stuff. Fresh stick. Don't want to mix them up. I have a feeling that there would be a chemical reaction and the result would not be pretty, because it would result in a can of hardened crud. And I don't want it in a can, I want it on my boat. Und now we mix it up, yeah? And then you mix it until it is a uniform gray color. You see it's kind of streaky in there, like Elvira's hair. Well, you want it gray, just like my hair. There you have a giant gray cow pie. Ready to go. So, let's go. Well, there you have it. Another successful day's worth of work on Little Bear, and the hull deck joint has been successfully filled and hopefully sealed forever. It doesn't look like much, just looks like a gray smear along the bulwark, but nice and hard, and hopefully it keeps the ocean out. Have a look. There it is. There's the bow. All the way back. The stern. Oh, the next phase of this project will be to fare that down where it needs it, make it flat so that the cap rails sit on it nice and square. And after that, we'll get to sanding on the deck and hopefully putting the peak back on someday soon. In the meantime, I've got to take the old tape off. So as always, fair winds, following seas, and God bless.